All right, in this video, we're going to practice factoring a quadratic. We're going to use one with a leading coefficient of other than 1, but this also works for a leading coefficient of 1. So we have our cross technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 6 times the negative 3, the coefficient in front of the x, and the constant, and that gives us the number on top, negative 18. And then we're going to take the coefficient of the x, which is 7, and that's going to go at the bottom of our cross. And so what we're looking for two numbers to multiply to get negative 18, but add to get 7. The reason why this works is we're going to try to factor by grouping. So we need this to work out nicely, and then we can factor it all by grouping later. So the two numbers here are 9 and negative 2, because 9 times negative 2 is negative 18, but 9 plus negative 2 is positive 7. So our goal here is now we're going to replace our 7x with a 9x and a negative 2x. So it's 6x squared, but then we're going to replace the 7x with a 9x and a negative 2x. Now, I'm going to factor by grouping, and on factor by grouping, I'm going to take the first two terms and see if they have a common factor. They have a common factor of 3, because 3 goes into 6 and to 9, and they have a common factor of x. So then I factor or divide out the 3x. So I get 2x plus 3 left over. Then I'm going to factor the next two terms by grouping. They have a negative 1 in common. And I'm going to write the 1 there so I don't forget about it later. When I factor the negative 1 out, or when I divide the negative 1 out, I get a 2x plus 3 left over. So that looks sort of complicated. Let me write a different version to the right. So a different version of this is 3x times some number minus 1 times that number. And so I think you'd agree that if is there a in both spots, we can then factor the a out, or divide a each part by a, so then we get a 3x minus 1 left over. And so the a in this case is just this 2x plus 3 term. So I'm going to factor the 2x plus 3 out. And then what's left over? 3x minus 1 is left over. And then I have my answer factored.